love Gaza's children. I want to support him. I want to encourage them forever, because when I saw my schoolmates without food and without anything to eat, I started to say, I should help them.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. On February 28th, United Nations Human Rights Council announced its report on Gaza. It accuses Israeli forces of deliberately shooting children and journalists during the movement called the Great March of Return that began about a year ago. 35 children have been killed. Typically, the Israeli government said they were only acting in self-defense. But the Independent Association for Civil Rights in Israel said it is impossible to ignore the death and injury of dozens of civilians, among them women and children, by claiming self-defense. We'll hear from a young woman from Gaza later in the program. Mainstream right-wing Jewish groups in the United States made a rare criticism of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's facing an election in April, and the numbers for his Likud party are not looking good, so he's looking for allies. So he publicly brokered a merger between two other right-wing parties, hoping they'd be part of his future government coalition. One of them is called Otzma Yehudit, a party widely known as being a successor to fascist parties in Israel, parties that follow the ideas of Rabbi Meir Kahane. Kahane was a violent fascist who once went to jail in Israel for making plans to put bombs on Arab buses. Kahane had a fascination with banning sexual relations between Jews and Arabs. All this caused the ADL and AIPAC to recoil in horror and criticize Netanyahu publicly for working with Otzma Yehudit. And on the 28th, the Attorney General of Israel announced he was indicting Prime Minister Netanyahu on a variety of corruption charges. This could actually happen. A former prime minister was once jailed, and a sitting president, Moshe Katsav, went to prison in Israel for 5 years for rape. But the electioneering goes on. Netanyahu might actually lose, but his main opponent is a former general. One pundit said the election was all about who could kill more Arabs. Sudan has become a full military dictatorship. Al-Bashir has declared martial law. He's dismissed all the major civilian authorities, replacing them with military men. This has not intimidated the people. Here are women behind the gates of Al-Afad University for Women. The UN is aware of the dire situation in the Rukban refugee camp in Syria.
Mr. President, distinguished council members, I provide this update today on behalf of the Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and the Emergency Relief Coordinator, Mr. Mark Lowcock. Mr. President, a fortnight ago, we got a glimpse of what life is like for some 41,000 displaced Syrians, mainly women and children, in Rukban near the Syria-Jordan border. What our colleagues witnessed is a dire humanitarian situation. The mission lasted 10 days and involved 133 trucks loaded with essential humanitarian assistance, vaccines, and logistical items. The assistance delivered was critical and will save lives. But the gravity of the situation for civilians in Rukban means that sustained humanitarian access is needed moving forward. Food supplies, for example, are expected to last only 30 days.
So the food should run out around March 7th. Evidently, the UN is in the process of begging Assad again for permission to bring supplies and food into al-Rukban. Neither airdrops of food or overland supply from the nearby U.S. base in Syria are even being talked about.
Regardless of their profile or tribal affiliation, have ongoing concerns related to the situation at destination, the lack of civil documentation, concerns about access to their property, and concerns related to their safety and security, particularly the fear of detention and military conscription.
In other words, people are terrified that the young men will be thrown up into Assad's army and sent to the front lines, and others will be taken straight to Assad's hideous dungeons, as has been done to other areas where Syrians have surrendered. Here's a sign outside Rukban. Notice the Russian. They are partners with Assad in trying to force the surrender. Our main segment will be about Gaza, from talks at the Palestine Museum US in Woodbridge, Connecticut. Lama Abed will be introduced by Donna Baranski-Walker from the Rebuilding Alliance.
I'm going to give a little bit of introduction about Gaza, just because you might want to see how big it is, from New Haven to Middletown. That's it. That's the entire size. So 2 million people in that small space, 139 square miles, 14,000 people per square mile, 2 million as of October 2016, 67% under 24 years old. So important to think about how that might compare with here, with other places. With that, I'm going to invite Lama to come to the stage. And
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lama Abed. I'm 14 years old from Palestine and Gaza Strip, and I'm really happy to see you all today because my goal is to send the Gaza's children message. I was in Washington before 3 weeks ago, and we spoke in Congress about our life in Gaza, how do we live, who we are, what we do, and now I'll talk about the United Nations schools in Gaza. This is the first thing that I really want to talk about. So, Mr. President Trump stopped funding to United Nations schools. He cut the aid. He stopped funding stationery, food, money, everything to United Nations school. And this is really hard for us. This is really hard for the children. Me, as a child, I go to my school daily. And in my class, I found a lot of children, they are without stationery, without notebooks, without pencils, without anything. And this is the children all the time feel embarrassed about it. They are going to the school without stationery. This is really hard. Actually, after some classes, we go for a break. And then I start to take a look to take a look around with me, to see a lot of children. They are standing with eating nothing. They don't have food. They don't have like anything. Like in the school, they should give the children some like simple lunch, something to eat, maybe milk, any like type of fruit. But it's really hard to give it to the children.
You might explain why they're eating there.
Yeah. So, because like there's this thing in our school, there's no food to the children. We make the breakfast day to the students to support them, to tell them that you can eat. And this is the breakfast day in our school. So we like give the students some food, something to eat, something healthy, something healthy to eat, and in that day I'll never forget how they are was really happy when they are a lot of food to eat. They are start to play. They are start to feel like we are happy. There is someone who feel us. So this was really good day for us. Yeah. So because there's like not a lot of schools in Gaza, so there's a crowded in the schools. There's like in one class there is 50 students, and it's really small class. It's not that big to stand this number of students. There's 50 students, and in the desk there's 3. How can we understand from the teacher? How can we just take our rightist base to write, to study, to do easy things? So this is really hard to do it. So this is my sister's school. They are in 3rd grade. Please.
Oh, go back?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So look, there's 3 children in the desk. And look, it's really small. How can they study? How can they do things that they are wants? Next. Yeah, and this is our sport class. And a lot of schools here has things to use to play in the class sport. Yeah, and she is my sister. We are in the school. We use because there's no stationery. We use those small erasers. There's no big pencils to use it. They are just use small pencils to write because they want to learn, because they want to continue their education, because they will fight to continue. But this is the things that they are used as children. And she is my sister too, and she was carry the pinwheel, and she writes her dream. Let me read something. Yeah, she writes there, I love you, because this was her message. And also she writes, I want to live in my home safely. She told me the sentence in Arabic, but I just translated. So this is what she was hope, to live safely, to live happy, without feeling afraid from anything. Next, please. Yeah, about the thing that we are really it's really hard for us in Gaza, it's electricity. Let's see, here is Tel Aviv and here is Gaza. Let's compare between the lights here, the electricity here, and the electricity here. The electricity in Gaza, it just came for 4 hours daily. You should do everything you want in those 4 hours. You will study, you will make your housework, you will search on internet if you have something important to do. You will do. Those 4 hours is like the paradise for us. We just wait those 4 hours in the whole day. And if it's just come in the night, maybe it's come in 2 a.m., we should be awake to study, to do those things, and to continue to study. And this is really hard for our family, to continue our family easily. So about also the crowded in the schools, there's 3 durations, there's 3 shifts. So because the school is not that big, and there's a lot of students, and there's not much that school or big schools, so there's 3 durations. The first one is from the students, maybe from class 2 to 6, maybe, or to 5. So
I go back to school.
Yeah. So the first classes came from. They should wake in 4 o'clock to be in the school in 5. So from 5 to 11, the first shift, and then they back to the home. Other children come to the school from 11:30 to 3 o'clock, and then the other from 3 maybe to 7 or maybe to 8. They will like back. So one come, one go, one come. So what we can do if there's like a family who has like maybe 3 or 4 children, they should stand by all the time between welcome and goodbye. One go, one come, one go. And this is really hard to continue our life easily, to continue our family life. Like my mom, she has 3 children. 3 girls, like the boy, he's another school. So we are 3 girls in the home. One go, one come. One go, one come. Like we can't like sit like the families sit in the like dinner table to eat, maybe to the lunch. But we just like eat one alone. And this is like, where's the family life? We should like live it. We should have it, but we don't. And this is me yesterday when we was in the United Nations building in New York. And yesterday I was really shocked because I have read a lot of human rights. Like there is a big wall which is full of human rights. I start to read one by one. And then I start to ask myself, where is those human rights? I don't have any one from them. So I have read one which is like the people should have their own job. I start to say the big example is my mom. She has 3 certificates and she's still without job. Like the people should have the home, the right to play, the right to continue their education, the right to do. But the big question for me, where's those things? What we have? Where's our human rights? And also about like it was a TV which is like there's the United Nations goals, what they are wants from. So there's like the first one which is really attractive me, which is education. And when I start to look at this like point, which is education, I start to ask myself, where's the education that we have? Like education in Gaza start to go down. It's okay that we are educated people. We are wants to learn. Our teachers in our school do not stop. They fight with us to let us continue our education. They start to use like different ways to teach us because they want like a good future for us. They want us to feel happy. Like we are, like all the people say the school is the second home, and they want to let us just feel this thing that our school is the second home. But like occupation and siege and other people from the world don't want this thing. They are just want to close everything around us. They don't want to let us continue our education. And this is what I was like. This was about the Palestinian things. I haven't read everything there.
That's it.
Yeah, so I'll talk about like other things now. So I'll tell you a story happened with me. No, first like my mom said she wants to open. I'll tell you the story. So the story it's I was like in the home preparing myself to write a new text in English. I'm not a writer. I'm just trying to write short stories, text in English and also in Arabic. So I take my notebook. Or is this? Okay, let's see. This is my notebook. So I went to my bed. It was really dark night. There is no electricity. So and I wasn't like think that will be some bombing that day. So I put my pencil in my notebook. I have it like that day. I was really comfortable, happy. I want to write. Finally, I have the chance to write. So I put my pencil in my notebook and then bomb happened around side. I start to say, it's just the first one, just keep calm, it's nothing. It's like, it's easy thing for you. You faced a lot of wars, so I faced 4 wars, so this bombing will never like do anything for me. This is what I was taught, just to tell myself you are really strong, but there's like a lot of hurt in my heart. I know that there's bombing and makes a lot of children afraid, and I was afraid, but I just tell myself that because I want to be really strong. So I returned to my notebook to be in my to write. So I returned to my notebook to write the second word, and then other one happened. I start to say, it's the second one, just keep calm again. You should write. You still have some inspiration. You still have some words. You should write. You are really strong. And then when I returned to write the third time, like other one happened, the second, the third, the fourth. I just close my notebook, I put it on my bed, I take my blanket and my sister, we just go to sleep in my parents' room. Now we are really afraid, we can't write, we can't do anything. I just like put it in this easy way, I just take my sisters and our blanket and we just go to our parents' room. And to hold their hands and to tell them we are really afraid. We can't stand this. We want to write, we want to do everything, but we can't. So in the morning, I start to ask myself, hey Lama, good morning. I start to ask myself, what is peace for you? What does the word peace mean to you? Can you touch the peace? What is the color for peace? Can I touch it? Can I feel it? What is possible for peace? And then I start to tell myself, maybe it's to see my family or other families that in the home, talking, feeling happy, safety, love. Maybe it's to see the children play in the playground, not playing in the street without feeling afraid. Maybe it's to see myself achieving my dreams, write my topics and text and short stories without like what happening with me during when I was right. Maybe it's to see my mom or some people have their own job, not just like walking in the street to find someone to help. And then I start just, hey girl, just be awake, it's nothing, you don't have anything, you just like nothing in this world, you will never achieve anything, your education is going down, even if the teachers are really strong, but maybe they someday will stop because they just feeling tired now, they can't, because now they feel like, okay, it's the time to take a rest, we will never continue to help those children because we are people, we feel, we like the teachers, they with us now, and also my mom, she support me now, she encouraged me, she loves me now, but we don't know what about how the future will be, if she will stay with me forever, or if she will not stay. So like just to feel that I'm really happy, and then like, you know, like I was talking about peace, and then like and then I started thinking good way that peace is everything, peace is beautiful, peace. But then I start, just be awake, you don't have anything. And then I start to say, no, I still have dreams, I should be strong. And then, no, I don't have anything. And then, you know, like, this is our life in Gaza, and this way we live. So I'll tell you something about my dreams, which is really important for me, which is like part of my heart, maybe it's my whole heart. So my dreams, my 3 dreams, which is the first one is to be a famous TV presenter. Yeah. Yeah, like some days I start to stand in front of the home, and then I start to say, okay, today I'll tell you about the weather forecast, and I start to talk, and start to say like to clap for me and to say you are really good today. So, and you know, my parents want to encourage me. And the second dream, which is like I start like to work in it before 2 years. I think my life I start to find myself from before 2 years ago, because I don't know, because like so I start to be in United Nations school, and I saw that everything is hard and I should work on myself. So from that day I start to tell myself, you should be strong, you should do everything you want. So I start to write from 2 years ago. I write short stories. I have write 2 short stories for children, and I have write maybe 3 or 4 texts in Arabic and maybe 2 in English. This is really good step for me because like I work, and so the second dream is to be a writer in the future. And writer, like maybe you will shock now, just you want to be a writer just in Italy? Yes, I want to be a writer just in Italy. I'll write there, I'll tell the people my poem there, because there is a reason. There's a writer, he came to Gaza and he put his signature in my book, and he write, I want to see you a great writer in Italy. So this is like start to be a dream for me, you know. So the biggest dream and the amazing one, and this dream I'll never like stop think about it, which is to be a cowgirl. No. I want to be a cowgirl in the future, because when I start, like, I want to have my big farm, my own farm, which is full of cows. I'll help the Gaza children. I'll support them. I'll give them milk, cheese, everything, because I feel how they feel. I love Gaza's children. I want to support him. I want to encourage them forever, because when I saw my schoolmates without food and without anything to eat, I start to say, I should help them. I can help them. So, don't cry. Mama, don't cry. Mama, thank you, because you are a person in my life, because you support me, encourage me. I'm here because you are in my life. I can speak, I can do everything because you are in my life. Because I'm really happy because I have mom like you who support me, who encourage me, who do a lot of things for me. Thank you, I love you. So let's back to my farm. Like in the home, and I start to I have two sisters and one brother. Hala, she is 12 years old, and Jannah, she is 9, and Ahmed, he's 16 years old. I'm in the middle, yeah. So I start to tell like my brother and sisters, hey Ahmed, you want to be engineer in the future? So you should make the design to my farm. Hala, you love programming? I think you should make like the electronic things in my farm, just to design it and to make it really good. Jannah, you want to be a doctor? So you should help my cows. And I'll just like come daily to see how my farm will be. They will kill me if they will hear that. You know, like, because we sit like every Friday, like as a family, talking to each other, feeling happy and like that. I start just to change our like thinking. I start to tell my brother and sisters, we are really strong, we can achieve our dreams, we can do everything we want, because we are really strong, we can do everything we want, we have our parents. Even if my mom, she told me before like 2 years, you should believe in yourself now. You are 12 years old, and now you are 14. I will stop do that. If you will make something wrong, I'll make it for you right.
That's our program for today. See you next week at this time. I'm Stanley Heller for The Struggle.